Hello students, today we'll discuss Cambridge IGCSE Physics Multiple Choice Paper 22. It is paper 2, variant 2. So let's start. So in this paper you should use scientific calculator and do it. Okay, question 1. Let us look at question 1. A length of cotton is measured between 2 points on a ruler. When the length of cotton is wound closely around the pen, it goes round 6 times. This is a very tricky thing, so you should outline this 6 times. What is the distance once round the pen? So first we need total length. So total length we'll find by subtraction. So this is 15.6. This is 12.4. So total length will be x2 minus x1, difference between these two readings, 13.4 centimeters. So this length is wound 6 times, so each time it is wound, it is total divided by number. So we divide total 13.4 by 6, we get 223. So 223, it is answer A. Next question, question 2. When does an object falling vertically through the air reach terminal velocity? Terminal velocity means that resultant force equals 0, air resistance equals weight, acceleration equals 0, and out of these questions, so when acceleration of the becomes negative, no, it should be 0. B. When acceleration of the object equals to g, no, it should be 0. When the air resistance equals the weight of the object, yes, that's right. When the air resistance is greater, no, that's not right. Okay, question 3. Let's make divider bigger. Right. A ball is dropped in an evacuated tube. A series of photographs is taken at equal time intervals from the time of release. Another ball of the same size but twice the mass is also dropped in the same evacuated tube and photographed. Which diagram shows the motion of the heavier ball? If balls are moving in evacuated tube, then they move all at the same and identical equal acceleration g. For Earth it is 10 meters per second squared. It means that first ball and second ball should have the same acceleration and their motion should be identical. So we choose answer C, which is identical with the motion of the first ball. Question 4. Which statement about the mass and the weight of an object is correct? They are both affected by changes in acceleration of free fall. No mass is constant. They are both forces. No mass is not force. They have different units. Yes, that's right. Mass is in kilograms, weight is in newtons. So C is correct choice. Weight is calculated by dividing mass by acceleration. No, weight is calculated by multiplying mass by acceleration. So we choose answer C. Question 5. Which statement about the mass of an object is correct? Let's check. It is equal to the density divided by the volume. It is wrong, so let's find answer 5. Mass is product of density and volume. B. It is equal to the weight multiplied by gravitational field strength. Wrong, it is weight divided by gravitational field strength. C. It is the effect of gravitational field on the object. No, it is amount of substance and it is constant. It is the property that resists a change in velocity. Yes, more mass, less acceleration, and this resists change in velocity. Another name for this resistance is inertia. Question 6. An object accelerates from to in time. Okay, so when you do this exercise, you underline or outline important information. And actually you can do the following. You can write, so as you read, you write. So u from means u equals 25, to 5, so v equals 5 times, and mass is, so we have given information. What is the resultant force on the object? So method 1 is using F equals ma. So A will be change of velocity by t, it is minus 5, so F will be minus 50 by minus 5 by 50, 250. So answer is 250. Another method is rate of change of momentum divided by time. Question 7. The beam is pivoted at one end as shown. So this is pivot. So it can turn around pivot. The beam weighs 6 Newton and its weight acts at point X from the pivot. A force 4 Newton is applied to the beam, causing it to balance horizontally. In which direction and where the force should be applied? So 6 Newton force produce clockwise moment, so we should produce anti-clockwise moment, and so we should apply force upward. Because we apply 4 Newton force, the distance should be greater, so it should be somewhere here. And by how much? Actually we have here several choices, so it should be acting over here, so 20 centimeters upward to the right. So here trick is, it's not total distance, it is distance to the right from X. Actually you can calculate everything. Let's see how it is calculated. So moment clockwise is 240, moment anti-clockwise is 200, should be also 240. So force 4 Newton should produce 240 Newtons. So this happens when G equals, rearranging this formula for G, we can get, so it is 60 centimeters, and 60 centimeters correspond to 20 centimeters to the right. So pay attention to these tricky words. So the tricky word here is relative to X, not to the pivot. So they try to put it to confuse students. These are tricky words. Question 8. A spacecraft is traveling in space with no resultant force and no resultant moment acting on it. Which statement about the spacecraft is correct? So actually here we have two conditions: no resultant force, no resultant moment, two conditions for equilibrium. In this case, object either is at rest or move at constant velocity. So its direction is changing. No, it is in equilibrium. Yes, its speed is decreasing, its speed is increasing. No. So answer is B. Question 9. A car, again, as we read, we write information. So a car of mass 1000 kg and 1 equals 1000, traveling at 8, so U1 equals, U means initial velocity of first car, collide with a lorry of mass 3000, M2 is 3000, that is traveling with 2 meters, so 2 meters per second. So because they move in one direction, let's call this direction positive, so we have positive velocities. After colliding, the two vehicles stick together. So stick together means they move with the same velocity. What is their speed after the collision? So here we have given information. We wrote it down as we were reading the text. Then we know that momentum equals mass times velocity, and total momentum before event equals total momentum after. So on the left we can sum up momentum of two objects before and on the right we have M1V, M2V, or actually total mass V. So we put numbers, rearrange formulas, and then we calculate using calculator. We get 3.5, so 3.5 is answer C. Question 10. What is the main process by which energy is released in the sun? So this you should memorize. In sun, nuclear fusion or melting of hydrogen to a hydrogen atom. So answer is D, nuclear fusion. The work done by a force is related to the magnitude F of the force and the distance moved in the direction of the force. Which equation for W is correct? So this you should remember, it is answer D. Question 12. A crane is on a construction site lifts concrete beams. The useful work done by the crane is 4,000 kilojoules in a time of 160 seconds. What is the useful output power of the crane? So here we use, first of all, we write given information in this form. Then we recall the formula. For power, it is work by time. We put numbers. K helps us to convert kilojoules into kilowatts. So K stands for 1000. So we get answer C. A submarine in a water of density so much, the submarine changes its depth. This causes the pressure on it to change by so much. What is the change in depth of the submarine? So I called density capital D, so I put information. So density, change of pressure, I changed mega into 10.6 by changing mega to 10.6, and G equals 10 meters per second squared. The pressure at depth H is so much. Change of pressure equals the same expression we just put here, delta and delta change. Rearranging for delta H, putting numbers, we get 10 meters. Answer B. Question 14. An oil tank has a base of so much, filled with oil to the depth so much, the density of the oil is so much. What is the force exerted on the base of the tank due to oil? So there are different approaches. One of the approaches is the following. We know area, height, and density. So force is weight, and it is mg, it is density times volume times g. Volume will be base area by height, and then we putting numbers, we get answer D. When molecules of a gas rebound from wall of container, the wall experiences a pressure. What is the cause of this pressure? By definition, pressure equals force divided by area. Force is change in momentum divided by time. So the best answer here is B, change in momentum divided change in momentum of molecules. Next question, 16. A student wishes to calibrate a mercury glass thermometer with degrees Celsius scale. Which values should she use for the lower fixed point and for the upper fixed point? This you should remember. Fixed points are shown in B. So it is lower point is melting point of ice and upper point is boiling point of water. So this answer memorized. Question 17. In an experiment an object is heated. The data from the experiment is shown. So let's summarize this data. So question 17. So energy. supplied 3 kilojoules, mass of object 2 kilogram, change of temperature 10 degrees, and specific capacity 150. What is thermal capacity? Thermal capacity by definition is energy divided by energy supplied divided by temperature change. So we ignore here one of the values. This value we ignore, and we ignore mass. We get answer B. 18. 4 thermometers with their bulbs painted different colors are placed at equal distance from a radiant heater. Which thermometer shows slowest, that's important, slowest temperature rise when the heater is first switched on? So slowest means the thermometers are heated by radiation. The worst absorber and emitter is shiny white. The best absorber and emitter is matte black. This we should memorize. So we want slowest temperature change, so we want worst absorber, and it is shiny white. Shiny white is answer D. A tank contains water. Ripples are produced on the surface of the water. What causes the ripple to refract? Question 19. Reason of refraction is the change of speed in different materials. Here, change of depth, and we find change of depth. Where we have change of depth, it is in B. The ripples change speed as they move from deep water to shallow water. 19. 20. Light travels at a speed 10 to the 8th in a glass block. In the glass, the same glass, the wavelength is so much. What is the frequency? Easy question. So this is given information, velocity, wavelength. We should find frequency. Equation linking these three quantities is wave equation for speed of light. So here it is speed of wave. Here the wave is light. So let's put here light. And so we have V equals F lambda. We rewrite it for V. We substitute numbers. And we get answer D. 21. So we have here mirror, sunlight. Scout P signals to Scout Q on the other side of the valley by using a mirror to reflect the sun's light. Which mirror position allows the sunlight to be reflected to Scout Q? So I have copied this picture in here. Let's analyze it in here. Right. So we have ruler. We can draw line from Scout P to Scout Q along the path of reflected ray. Let's make it more accurate. Right, like this. Then we can roughly draw here bisector, angle bisector. And then we need because it is normal actually, we can draw here mirror. Mirror will be perpendicular to this bisector. Right. So now we look to our choices. Sorry, I lost. Oops. We should look to our choices. Wait a minute. Our choices, and I think the choice A is the best out of these choices. The choice A, so because it is like vertical line. Choice A, so answer is A. Next question, 22. A scientist described light as being monochromatic. What does this tell you about the light? So definition, by definition, the monochromatic light, here we have definition. The monochromatic light has the same color, single frequency. So we have here single frequency, yes. More than one length, no. Travel single speed in a single direction, that's stupid. It travels at different speed in different directions, that's very strange. Question 23. Which statement is not correct? Okay, let's check. The speed of long wavelength infrared radiation in vacuum is greater than that of shorter. Okay, in vacuum all lights have the same speed, so this is not correct. So this we can choose straightforward. Let's see what else we have. The speed of microwaves in air is approximately, yes, that's correct. The speed of gamma rays emitted of a sample of cobalt is this, attention, kilometers. So if we change into meters, it will be the same 10 to the 8. X-rays emitted in a supernova explosion reach Earth at the same time as the visible light. Yes, because they travel at the same speed. Question 24. Let's see question 24 and answer to question. Solution 24. A siren is emitting a sound. As the time passes, the sound becomes louder and higher pitch. What is happening to the amplitude and frequency of the emitted sound wave? Remember that more amplitude means louder sound, more frequency means higher pitch. So here we have louder and higher pitch. So louder means we have increased amplitude, and higher pitch means higher frequency. So answer is D. 25. A permanent magnet is placed close to a bar of soft iron. What are the polarities of the NP and F and Q? So when you put magnetic material near a magnet, this magnetic material becomes magnetized and it attracts. It means that here we have south and here we have north. So south north is answer C. So we choose answer C. 26. Which method is used to demagnetize a bar magnet? 26. Heating shakes atoms that are aligned tiny magnets. So heating we have in B. The rest is do nothing to magnetic properties. 27. What is the electromagnetic force of a cell? Answer is B. Just memorize. Energy gain per unit charge as the charge passes through the cell. A student measures the potential difference across a device and the current in the device. Which calculation gives the resistance of the device? Question 28. By definition, resistance is potential difference divided by current, so we choose answer C. Next question. A piece of wire, its resistance is, which wire of the same material has resistance 2 times less? So I decided to solve it by 2 methods. One is smart and quick method. Here we use variation. So what we know? We know that resistance equals rho L area PD squared over 4. So resistance is proportional to length and inversely proportional to square of diameter. So this is information about our resistor, and we should find out of this list piece of wire with 2 times less resistance. Let's see what happens. A, length is 2 times less, so resistance decreased 2 times. Diameter is 2 times less, so resistance increased 2 squares, 4 times, and we have 2 at the numerator, 4 at the denominator, so it should increase 2 times. Wrong, so we need decrease 2 times because we need something with resistance 0.15. B, decrease 2 times because less is 2 times, and it is 4, so diameter increased 2 times. It means resistance will decrease 2 squared, which is 4. So we have at the top 4. No, we have at the top nothing, and at the bottom we have 2, factor 2 and 4, so it decreased 8 times. Next, C. Length increased 2 times, diameter decreased 2 times, so increased 4 times, so increased 8 times actually. And the last one, length increased 2 times, diameter increased 2 times, so it is resistance decrease 2 squared 4 times, so 2 at the top, 4 at the bottom, decrease 2 times. Another method is you find rho from the first wire, and then you calculate resistance of other wires. You can use the same, so after rewriting you can use the same constant. It will be 0.03, and you should just multiply by L and divide by D squared. So I calculated and I found correct answer again at D. So this was 29. 30. A diode is used as a rectifier. What is the purpose of rectifier? So just here you should demonstrate your knowledge that rectifier changes alternating current into direct current. So it is answer B, to change alternating current into direct current. Just this one. A student sets up the circuit. What is the purpose of the circuit? So what we see in the circuit? We see bell and we see thermistor. Thermistor resistance drops at high temperature, so all voltage falls on bell and it starts ringing. So our choice is B, D. Sound a bell when the temperature rises. Okay. So here we have diagram. The diagram shows 2 voltmeters P and Q connected to a potential divider. The sliding connection at X is moved towards the top of the diagram. What happens to the reading on P and to the reading on Q? So when we move sliding contact higher, so we have potential divider. Resistance of the higher part, voltmeter P, decreases and voltage here decreases. The opposite happens at the lower part. Resistance increases and voltage increases. So X is sliding. When sliding contact moves up, upper part less resistance, less voltage. Lower part more resistance, more voltage. So it is choice B. Reading on P decreases, on Q increases. Right. The circuit shown contains 2 gates, which truth table describes the operation of the circuit. So we have here one input, this is OR gate, So OR gate gives 1 if only one of this is 1, at least one is 1, and this is NOT gate. They put in the table the input Q, and second input of R will be opposite. This is why I put here a red line to show that opposite. Let's see. Let's analyze. First line. This is 0, this is 1, this should be 1. So Q input is 0, gives to R 1, so this will be 1, so this is wrong. Next, here again first line. So again 0, 1 goes to R, 1 end of R, so should be 1. Wrong. Now let's check. So 0, Q gives 1, it is 1. 0, 1 gives 0, so 2 zeros gives 0. Here 1 should be 1, 1 should be 1. So even we neglect Q because even 1 is enough. And finally we come here, let's check. So 0, Q gives output 1, so it is 1. 0, Q gives 0 is 0. 1, it is 1. 1, it is 1. So answer is D. 34. In AC generator, a coil is rotated, magnetic field and electromagnetic force is induced in the coil. In which position of the coil does the EMF have the largest value? To produce electromagnetic, to have induced current in the coil, the coil should and wire should cut magnetic field lines. So magnetic field lines are from north to south. They are horizontal here, and the motion is at 90 degrees, so maximum angle. So in this case the wire cuts magnetic field, so maximum current is here. All the rest has less current, so answer is A. Wire P 35. Wire P carries a current directed perpendicular into the page. A compass is plotted at Q, which is close to wire. The magnetic field at Q, due to the current, is very much larger than the magnetic field of the Earth, so we can ignore Earth. In which direction does the north pole of the compass point? So wire is into paper. It produces circular magnetic field. The only question, we don't know clockwise or anti-clockwise, so it is either A or C. And to decide A or C, we use right hand grip or corkscrew rule. So we hold our wire in such a way that thumb points the current, then folded fingers show the direction of the current, either clockwise or anti-clockwise. Here current is into the paper, so I hold the wire that my thumb points into the paper, and the rest fingers shows clockwise current, so it is along A. Answer is A. 35. 36. A transformer has NP turns, P is primary in the primary coil, NS turns in the secondary coil. Which rule gives the value of NP and NP in the transformer that steps up a voltage of 1200 volt to 30,000 volt? So I copied this table here. Very useful term, turns ratio. It is ratio of number of turns on secondary by primary number of turns, and it equals to the ratio of voltages. So we know voltages, this is why we can calculate turns ratio. It should be 30. Now let's calculate turns ratio for A, B, C and D. So we divide NS by NP. We divide and we find that 30 is for A. So answer is A. In the atomic model, an atom consists of central mass orbited by much smaller particles. What is the name of the central mass and the orbiting particles? Of course, this is nucleus with proton and possibly proton and neutrons, and orbiting, and this is electrons. So answer is nucleus and electrons. Answer is D. Question 37. Question 38. An isotope of polonium has a nuclide notation. A nucleus of this isotope decays by emitting an alpha particle, and beta particle is then emitted to form nuclide X. What is the notation for X? So we write decay formula, decay equation, and we put here the result. The result is alpha particle and next beta particle and our nuclide. So we have both top numbers and bottom numbers. They should be balanced. So top number is number of nucleons. So for alpha it is 4, for the beta particle with electron it is 0, and here I called it A. So balancing, I find that A equals 214. Bottom number is charged, so 84. For alpha particle it is 2 protons, 2 plus 2, and beta particle is electron minus 1. Here we don't know B, so we balance and we get B equals 83. This is our result. We compare our result and we find that the answer is D. 39. The table compares the penetrating abilities and ionising effects of alpha radiation and of gamma radiation. Which row is correct? This you should memorize. Most ionizing and least penetrating is alpha, least ionizing and most penetrating is gamma. Here least penetrating and most ionizing, so combination is for choice. Okay. The 40. The graph shows how the count rate registered. So registered count rate by count a near sample of radioactive isotope changes over a period of few days. The background count is I didn't notice it. It is 5 counts per unit. So background is 5. So I should make some correction. What is the half-life of the isotope? Right. Okay. So they say that the background radiation is 5, so it means that graph goes to 5. So we should take into account this background radiation because it is constantly present in our counts. So background radiation is, they say 5, so I change it to 5. Then at time 0, the radiation, total radiation is 45, and radiation from source will be 45 minus 5, give us 40. After half-life, radiation from the source should be 40 over 2, so decrease 2 times, and becomes 20. Plus background radiation of 5, 5 and 20 plus 5 give us 25, and radiation and we see that radiation is 25 when after 2 days. So 2 days is the half-life. 2.0 days. Paper is over. Thank you for your attention.